I'm going to record this and we'll share the screen. All right, everybody can see? Good. All right, so the software that we're working with tonight is called OBS, and it has a logo that looks like this. For those of you in the lab, you'll have to kind of go dig for it. I don't think it's in the toolbar, but I can show you how to access it after. If you're at home, be sure you have it downloaded. If you haven't downloaded it, you should start downloading it now so it's ready to go. It's a free program, and it's not too heavy of a program either, so you can easily download it tonight and start working. OBS stands for Open Broadcast Software. So it's an open source piece of software that basically allows cameras, microphones, and images to communicate with platforms that have live streaming, such as Facebook and YouTube. So what you'll do is each of you are going to set up kind of a mock, either a mock short concert or a presentation. And you could present one of your projects from class if you don't have a way to sort of do something with music. You could do a short live performance yourself, or you could record a friend or a roommate or a family member singing a song, making kind of a mini show of it. So in some ways, this is a test project, but it's also a real project, so because you're actually going to live stream it out there and make a video. So you learn to set up OBS is what we're going to learn tonight. And we're going to learn how to do audio and visual inputs, scenes, and overlays in this program. If you don't have a camera or a mic at home, I'll go through some of those things about what you can do. If you're in the lab, obviously we have a webcam that has a built-in mic, so we're set with that. So this is due Tuesday, which is our last class, the end of our class, by 9 p.m. at the end of the class. And this is worth more points, 30 points, since this is a final project. You'll be doing a number of tests for this project. And then once you kind of get the feel for it, you'll do like an official, here's my official live stream, and you'll stream it. And what you'll be submitting to me on Blackboard is a link to the video. All these things are archived online, so it's kind of cool too, thing about live streaming. All right, so set up, you'll need OBS. You'll need some kind of camera and microphone. You'll need a Facebook or YouTube account. If you don't have one of those, we can talk tonight. Later, there are other options, but those are going to be the easiest for right now and also the most utilized for live streaming. That's where people are watching live stream stuff. If you want to go with a YouTube account, you have to get it verified 24 hours in advance. So if you want to do YouTube, we need to make sure you're verified. You actually have to go and they verify your identity so that you're not a robot streaming and all of that. I'll show you later how to find the Go Live buttons in YouTube and Facebook where you can actually set those up. So project requirements, this will be a 5 to 10 minute video presentation or live performance. You'll need at least 3 scenes with transitions. So you'll create 3 different kind of things that people will look at. The most basic is what I call the pre-roll, which is like concerts happening soon with a countdown. You'll have a live scene where it's you talking or someone playing, and then a scene that's kind of an end screen with credits or a thank you or a donation button. That's what most musicians have at the end of theirs because people aren't doing live shows and streaming is free. So musicians are having to ask for money to keep doing what they're doing. You'll also need at least one overlay. This is, if you've ever seen a title pop up in a video, it's just done with an overlay. So it could be a logo, a picture, a word, something like that. It's actually very easy to do, and it's a good thing to know how to do. You'll need at least one camera and one audio. There is an app called Epoch Cam, which is a webcam app for a tablet or your phone. And it works for Mac or PC, and you can turn your phone basically into a webcam. You can use both the mic and the camera on your phone with OBS as a webcam. So if you don't have that equipment at home or any way to do it, that's one option. The easiest is to use your built-in audio or your built-in microphone on your computer itself. It's not the best quality, but it will work for this presentation. So that's always an option. Some other examples to give you ideas. You could also do a listening party to one of the compositions you wrote in the class. Like, hey, check out this song. Here's how I put it together. You could actually show it in Finale or GarageBand as part of your presentation. You can show how you worked on something from class, or you can do something more external from the class, like you playing a song or someone else playing a song. So those are the most basic things. If you have other things that you might want to live stream, like, hey, I've always wanted to show people how to use my Ableton Live, whatever it is, by all means, just let me know what you're thinking of doing and I'll make sure that it's going to work. Any questions about the basic requirements project? All right, great. So first thing is, you all at home probably have a wide variety of cameras you're working with. The first thing you want to do is test the camera that you have plugged in. So if you have a USB webcam, or if you have a built-in camera on your computer, want everybody at home to do this. You can just click on this link here. And if you're in the lab, you don't have to because you have the same camera as me. So it's a little like cheating. I'll just tell you what we got. You just go to this website, webcam tests, and go test my cam and allow it. And it will tell you, here we are. It will tell you the resolution of your webcam. This is the most important thing, because this is the sort of, we could say, the palette that we're going to be working with. So 1920 by 1080 is an HD dimension. This is something that you should know if you work with live streaming. So HD is 1920 by 1080. That's the dimension. And that's what, if you're in the lab, that's the camera that we're working with. So you'll want to test that at home and see what you got. Because when we go to set up our first scene, we're going to match our scene and everything we're doing to the dimensions of the webcam. So we'll open up OBS and go up to OBS in the menu and click Preferences. And this is where we can set up our video. So we're going to set up the canvas to be this 1920 by 1080 because our camera is can handle HD. We're going to do that. I usually set the output. So the output means the resolution that it's going to send out to the live stream. I usually output at a little bit lower rate because it guarantees that you won't have any blips, especially to Facebook and depending on your internet connection. So I usually output at a little bit lower resolution. So just keep that in mind. 1280 by 720 is, you don't want to do a camera that has any lower than that. It'll look very grainy on any service. So set it to that. And then we've got our camera palette basically set up. All right, first thing we're going to do is create a scene. So all scenes are basically windows that people are looking at, or frames people are looking at in the live stream. So I want everybody to create basically what's called a pre-roll scene. So this is what, when people log on to go to your concerts, it's kind of nice to have a landing pad for a couple of minutes before you actually start, right? Because it takes people a couple of minutes to get in there and find it. And you don't want to already be playing your show and they missed like 2 minutes of the best song. So you create a pre-roll. So we'll go down here. There's a scenes window and sources. So scenes are the frames that we're going to create, and sources is like the stuff within it. So you have to create pictures and add your microphone and add your camera as a source into each scene. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to right click on where it says default source, or sorry, default scene. and we're going to rename this pre-roll. Each of these things in these windows have to have unique names. Otherwise, you'll create a programming problem. It actually won't let you duplicate names because then it doesn't know if you ever click go to pre-roll. It'll be like, I don't know which one. So you have to create a unique name for everything that you do in OBS. All right, so we're gonna pre-roll, yay. Now let's add a color source. So we're basically gonna add kind of a little box here. And we'll just call this, we're just gonna call it background color. And I'm gonna match, remember that canvas size we had was the HD. I'm gonna make sure that matches the camera canvas that I set in the settings. So we're doing 1920 by 1080, and you can see it creates this box that matches the dimension of the frame. We'll go to select color. I'm just gonna be boring and do white. Click OK, and then click OK. Yay, we got a pre-roll scene. We're in. Let's add a scene text. We click the little plus button, and it's called text free type. And let's just name this concert title. Then we can add our text here. I'll just call this the name of my group, Folius Duo Concert. So people know, okay, I'm at the right live stream link. I'm at the concert. There's one kind of fussy thing about OBS in the color of text. You see how they color 1, color 2? They do this so you can set up different sort of hues going together. But if you just want a solid, like my canvas is white and I want this text to be black, you have to actually select black for both colors. Do you see how it created 2 different color mixes? That's its default. So if I want a solid color, I have to select the same color for color 1 and color 2. I've got that in the directions. So that's the only thing. That's not the most intuitive way, in my opinion, to do text color, but that's what we got. So solid color, have it be the both colors for color 1 and color 2. Unless you want the funky thing. So if you want to resize anything here, you can grab any one of these little boxes and it'll resize. So I don't want it to be super huge. So there we go. Folius Duo Concert. Yay. There we are. I'd like you all to add a timer too, just so you understand how scripts work. So to create the timer, we're going to add another text that's just going to be a placeholder, and we're going to call it timer. Click OK. And let's set that same black color for the timer. And we don't see anything yet because we have to put a script into the timer. So to do that, we go up to Tools in the menu. And this is where our scripts log is. I already loaded one. I'm just going to do that because this is what you'll see. Click the plus button. And there's all these different scripts that you can use in OBS. You can also download scripts, which is cool. There's all kinds of funky stuff people make for this program. But there's one that comes with it called Countdown. And, or is that the one we're using? Yeah, countdown.lua. We're going to click open. And this is made by Jim. This is how open source software works. People make and program things to add on to these programs. And it's really cool and everybody can share it. And it's nice. Whether or not it works, that's what you got to test out. But let's have this be just a 1-minute timer. And text source, we're going to select timer. And that was the text that we created. Now it sort of pops in the timer. Final text is what it's going to say when the timer's done. Let's have it say, going live. And click close. Whoops. Don't do that. Don't grab your canvas, because then it'll get all goofy on you. grab the timer. Okay, there we go. All right, so something like this. And now my size is all goofed up here. All right, so you'll see when it counts down, it's going to say going live, and that will be, this is just kind of a test page. You can also, if you have your own, like if you have Adobe Photoshop or you have an app like Canva, you can create, this is what I do. So my husband and I are doing a live stream concert on Sunday, actually. I create my own preset images. So I'm going to add, if you don't want to design the text and everything here. Oh, whoops, I can't call it background 2. There we go. You can add an image that's pre-sized. So this is pre-sized to fit the dimensions. And you can just click open, click OK, and then you already have your images dropped in. These you can drag to the front or the back. So I have to drag the timer actually in front to get it to show on top of the background. See, if I drag it here, it disappears because it's behind the background now. So these sources are also in order of appearance, we could say. So there's the timer, it went going live, and then people, yay, next scene. So they're expecting the live scene next, so forth. All right, let's just, you can just delete that if you don't want it. So to make a window capture, so some of you might be showing like a piece in Finale, for example. This is done through a window capture. So we're going to make our second scene. So potentially you might be going on next to show something in Finale. We're going to call this my project. So let's say if you're showing a project, click OK. And we're going to add a window capture, the bottom one. And we'll just call this Finale song. Click OK. And in this window, you're going to select where it says Finale. And you have to have your window open. So you actually have to have, like I have Finale open over here. You have to have it open or it won't recognize it. So have your application open that you want to coordinate with it. And I'm going to click there. And you can actually kind of resize. It's a little gimpy. You can resize the window and you'll see how it coordinates with the window. So you can kind of size it how you want it to fit in the window. And there we have it. So that's how to do a window capture. If you wanted to play sound, which most of you will want to, right? You have to also add an audio input capture. So if you wanted to capture the sound from Finale while you're showing it, we're going to call this computer sound. Click OK. And save. Okay. Computer sound. So I'm going to have it capture from Scarlett USB. That's the interface here. And this will only show the sound while it plays. So anything you want to have sound or have a picture, you have to add it each time. It won't be automatic. That's where all these sources come in. All right, so that's just the basic thing for setting up scenes within OBS and setting up if you want to capture any, basically you're setting up a screen share, but setting it up manually. So you can also add a final thank you scene. You can add other transitions to this if you want. You can also add pre-recorded audio and video. A lot of people add just like a short video in the beginning of their live stream that shows some things. You can do that as well. All right, let's show you the actually way less complicated part, which is adding the cameras and mics. So let's say I actually want to be live, like say hello myself in person after this pre-roll. We'll call this live 1. I think so I told you to say in the directions, live 1. And I'm going to drag this. I want this to go right after the pre-roll. So here we are, live 1. I'm going to select video capture. And I know that I'm working with my own webcam that's installed on the top of the computer. So I'm just going to call this webcam. Give your names as most logical names you possibly can. And if you have the webcam plugged in, you should see it here. This is called the B525HD webcam. Yay, here we are. Notice I can set this up. High is high definition. That's the 1920 by 1080. I'm going to set it at high definition just to be fancy because we can, because this camera has that capability. Oh, and it looks a little better. Okay, here we are. Yay, live. So that's how to set up the video. And then you also have to set up the audio, even if the microphone is on the webcam. So I'm going to call this webcam mic. And you'll see it shows up as a microphone as well because there's a microphone built into this particular webcam. Click OK. And now we've got some sound here for my my live setting. Yay. I want to show you the audio monitor you can access. So if you want to see what's coming out, click on this little gear and go to advanced properties. By default, the monitors are off on OBS. So if you want to monitor and output, monitor just means that you can hear it. I'm going to make sure it's not going to blast us out there we are. Now I can basically see how it would be coming out in a live stream because I've just pushed it out to an output and I can monitor it. Okay, I'm going to turn that off because that's too weird. All right, so the basic idea, you create pre-roll, create a live scene with your picture and audio, and then if you want, you can create an end screen, you can create something else you're going to show. When you actually stream, when this ends, you literally click here and say, hello. So this is how you actually do the scene changes in a live stream, is you click. So you can just get an idea for that. All right, that's probably enough stuff, yeah? For right now, let's get you going on just kind of getting your way around in OBS. If there's time, I can show how to set up the coordination to Facebook and YouTube, but we might have to save that for next week. So any other questions? All right, very good. I'll just leave this going if anybody wants to chime in.